being
Oh,
married?
I think my parents would be very disturbed if we got married.
Halo teman-teman, berjumpa lagi dengan gue Arista dan kali ini gue lagi ada di kota Den Haag di Belanda dan gue akan tanya-tanya orang di sini mengenai tinggal bersama sebelum nikah atau kumpul kebo. Dan pastinya masih agak tabu dibicarakan di Indonesia karena kalau di Indonesia ya kalian tinggal bersama kalau udah nikah, nggak boleh nih kalau misalnya tinggal bareng sebelum nikah ya kan. Oleh karena itu, gue pengen tahu nih kenapa sih orang Belanda atau orang-orang Barat itu tinggal bersama sama pacarnya sebelum menikah. Sekedar informasi, jika sebenarnya istilah asli dari kumpul kebo adalah kumpul gebouw. Kumpul berasal dari bahasa Jawa dan gebouw berasal dari bahasa Belanda yang artinya bangunan atau rumah. Jadi kumpul gebouw maksudnya adalah berkumpul di bawah satu atap rumah. Istilah gebouw berubah menjadi kebo karena orang Indonesia mungkin memiliki cara pengucapan gebouw yang berbeda. Sehingga menjadi kumpul kebo yang seharusnya kumpul gebouw. Lucu ya? Jadi kita cari tahu bersama dari jawaban-jawaban mereka. Oke, ikutin gue ya.
It's very fun. I mean,
Fun to live together.
it's really fun.
It's financially very nice. That's one reason.
I think it's a really good experience. Like, you just have one life and you just have to experience as much as you can. And that's something that, of course, you just have to do what you want to do, or you're not only what you're supposed to do. And then I think it's good to see how do you live with someone and how can you enjoy that and, you know, spend that time on this experience.
See it as a test run. You get to test your partner with living together before you actually get married.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you run into some issues together, you can resolve that before you really sign the contract and whatever it may be. So, always try and see the best of it.
I mean, I think it's very simple. It's really fun
Yeah,
to live
it's nice
together.
to live together.
It's nice to be a household.
Yeah.
You're a lot together.
And I think it's also, you know, before you get married, you want to know whether you're compatible with the other person in a lot of different ways. And I think living together is a big part of that, because if I have habits that he absolutely hates, or the other way around, then we need to be able to have a conversation about that before, you know, we make the commitment of getting married to each other.
Yeah, and there's also, I think, not such a tie between like living together and marriage. Like you can live together and not ever plan to get married.
I don't know if I want to get married. I don't know. Why would I?
Is this
It's
the
just-
moment that I hear all of
It's just for tax reasons, no? Okay, no, it's also symbolic, for sure,
Yeah.
but I'm really not fussed about getting married.
It's more and more that marriage is a choice you make and it's not necessarily expected of you. Many people still expect to get married at some point, but you don't have to. So it's more of an option, and therefore you're also more free to choose when to do it. And it shouldn't necessarily be the first step towards living together with someone.
Well, it wasn't always like that. I mean, in the past it was different here as well. But I don't really even think about it. It's really difficult to get a house in general right now. So I think you should be happy if you have something, and if you can share it with the person you care about, that's nice.
I think they actually encourage it.
Yeah, they don't care.
It's totally fine. Like, they don't care as far as you're happy and you're doing what you really want to do, and you're, again, not hurting anyone. It's totally fine.
Yeah, I don't think she was married before she lived together, for sure.
I think she was not married when she had you, no?
No. They got like half married, like when I was 10. No, when I was 5.
Are we convincing the Indonesian audience here? I think we might just be disturbing.
But are your parents okay with us not being
Oh, I
married?
think my parents would be very disturbed if we got married. They like you, but it's just not like we're quite young, and it's just they got married when they were like 34, 35, something like this.
I think my mother would really not like it if I got married, actually. She would really... No. she doesn't advise me to.
Yeah.
So.
My parents are a bit iffy. They're a bit more traditional. So they would like to see me at least be engaged to before I move out with a partner. But we will see if that changes.
Yeah, I'd say that you have pretty many advantages. Like, you can actually love and like someone, but living together, it's something absolutely different. And there are many things that come that you realize, and you really know this person when you're living with So maybe it's a good trial version of marriage, just living together.
To be fair, we've only lived together for a total period of like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then, because we both still have our own place.
Drive each other insane.
So I live in Utrecht, they live in Amsterdam, but we are together quite often. What is nice, it's really cozy. It's very easy to go out into the city, go watch a movie. You feel very connected, like on the same level. Whereas if you only see each other once or twice a week, it takes some time to like calibrate.
Yeah, that's true.
But when you're together a lot, you keep on the same level. That's
like
nice.
You can get a cat.
You can get a cat together.
Yeah.
Well, disadvantages I don't really think, because we do have the samenlevingscontract, like the live together contract, which is almost the same as marriage, except it's not the marriage part.
Yeah.
Right? But other than that, it's very similar. So it's not like you're keeping yourself from something except that you do for yourself. And then the advantage of that is that once you do choose to get married, it really means something for the both of you, just for the fact of the being together, and not so much for other practical purposes, because there's other options to get there.
I think it's also quite fun and exciting to not live together, because then you always have someone to like visit, or like the vibe of domestic life is very different than when you're like dating, right? You see each other at your worst.
True.
Really not your most beautiful moments.
Yeah.
And I think that creates a very different kind of like bond between two people compared to like the vibe of like the dating stage.
Yeah. And I think if you live together for long, it can also create tensions. And that's what I like right now, when we still have our separate places, that it is also nice to have 1 or 2 nights per week where you're actually on your own.
Yeah.
And you can really do things for your own.
Yeah.
And if you're together, of course you can like go into a separate room and play video games or read, but it will still be different than when you actually have your completely own house. I guess living together, most of the time it's really fun, but sometimes you also just want to be alone.
Iya teman-teman, jadi begitulah pendapat dari orang barat mengenai kumpul kebo. Jadi mereka punya alasan-alasan tertentu kenapa mereka mau tinggal bersama sebelum menikah. Kalau misalnya kalian masih punya pendapat lain, kalian boleh share pendapat kalian di section komen. Dan jangan lupa untuk like, subscribe, dan bunyikan lonceng biar nggak ketinggalan video gue. So, terima kasih banyak udah nonton dan sampai jumpa di video selanjutnya. Dadah!